Hi everyone, my name is Ella and this is the amazing Rory LemonAid, and today we are discussing healthy action mindset. I am a yoga teacher, I am a dancer and I am a coach, and I'm super passionate and excited about living healthy lives. So I run a project called Business Yoga, which you might see in the background here, and it is all about promoting wellness in the workplace. We are actually meant to move our bodies every 8 minutes rather than sitting still for 8 hours, and every 2 hours if you don't move them, we really can kind of affect the well-being of our bodies. So I'm really about promoting that, helping the workplace to reduce stress, and really helping people to think about looking after their bodies on a daily, hour by hour basis. And who are you, Rory?
I agree. I'm Rory LemonAid. I'm an osteopath, and I have been specialising in developing self-care and maintenance particularly for people that want to self-manage and look after themselves. So I'm specialising in that a lot more at the moment, and obviously in the sign of the times as well. So people are sort of a bit more stuck at home and things like that. So I'm loving sort of really helping people take hold of their sort of ways to get motivation for healthy action as well.
Ooh, speaking of healthy action, do you want to tell us about healthy action mindset? What does that mean?
Well, I think it's knowing what makes a movement practice healthy and understanding how to make the space and the mental capacity to do enough of it. So basically, essentially aligning your movement needs and wants, and it's important to learn for those who think that they don't have enough energy or time for healthy movement and want to do more in their life.
Awesome. So I'm really interested at the moment in kind of mental health in the workplace as well as physical health in the workplace. So I wondered how much this applies to the mind as well as the body.
Absolutely. That's a great question. Well, a great topic, and I think that it's depends on the person about whether they need to focus on observing and assessing things, and to find out whether they need to look into whether they're doing more, if they're trying with their mind but it's not linking in with their body. And so it's that whole process of seeing what else goes on in their life really, and knowing how to look at and observe it and see what works for them or what might be missing.
Super.
As well.
So why did you, what was it that made you want to create this program? Because Rory's going to be telling us later about his most recent course online, which is all about healthy action mindset. So what was it that made you want to do that?
Well, I was inspired to put this all together from valued feedback from patients about understanding the problems with getting around to doing enough healthy movement practice. Either thinking they were too busy, or there was maybe chronic symptoms getting in the way, and sort of, like fatigue or pains or things that sort of telling their bodies to stay still. And also I started using a lot more computers as well. So, it's for me, just to try and even reach to people, I've had to slow down my movement practices, and it's a fine balance. I have to keep jumping out and doing a bit and then jumping back in again. And it's like, if you don't think about it, you can really get sucked in and really start to feel the effects of static work, really.
Mm-hmm. And I think, humans, we evolved to stand up. We didn't evolve to sit down on a chair. But obviously we spend so much time on a chair. So I think this is so important. Hey, Darren, nice to see you. We have our first person joining us on Instagram. Welcome, Darren. We are talking all about healthy action mindset today here at Business Yoga and with Rory LemonAid, the amazing osteo. So yeah, I've been thinking about how much that effect of sitting down can affect our well-being, can affect our mind, and as we get more stressed, actually, that kind of affects the choices we make and kind of the work that we produce. So I think this is a super interesting topic. And it'd be nice to hear a little bit more about ham. What can you tell us?
Ham.
I'm a vegetarian.
HAM, the healthy action mindset. Well, I like to break it down into 4 ingredients that create a better ham. um, so let's throw it out. What if there's anyone watching, or anyone that's watching either the pre-record or the recordings? What do you think is most influential? Is it doing a movement practice, or is it the memory to fit more movement into the routine, or is it the motivation to move more, or is it working directly with a mindset and developing a mindset to move more? Which one is more important in your life right now? I like to call them the 4 M's. What do you think, Emma?
Oh, super interesting. Oh, it's hard for me to decide, because I think they're all super important for me. Like, so today I'm working on a project, which means that I'm going to be sitting down till 4, and I get like this feeling of like, oh my god, my whole body just needs to move. I'm a dancer as well and a yoga teacher, so there's, it's quite unfamiliar in my body to spend that much time sitting still. So I suppose for me it's like this craving of more movement, and yeah, I've been really thinking about this, of like, how do we just make it a habit, especially when we're in the office? How do we just make it a habit that, oh, we've got an answer here, memory to fit routine stands out. Nice. Yeah, so that like not letting it slide away or forget it, but actually doing it and making it a habit. And that's where, for me, business yoga is so important. Or like having those little timers. I often use Pomodoro, which is like a timer that tells you, it shouts at you to stand up and get moving, because it's so important. And it's true, when we're kind of thinking about that deadline, we can just let it all fall away.
Absolutely. So yeah, everyone's really, the answer is, it is debatable. It's one of those things stands out more. However, from my point of view, I think, and looking at the recent sort of studies on mindfulness, doing mindful movement, whether it's just being mindful practice in itself, or the act of doing a mindful movement practice, so being mindful whilst you do a movement practice, is inspires all the others. It lays down the mortar and bricks in motivation, and will spark your memory to do more. So I think that's probably what you've already programmed yourself to do at this time, Ella, is that that you need to do it, so you just end up having this. That's it. You've already programmed it in, so you've started it and you're doing it, and now it's like it's like a body clock timer,
Yeah.
isn't it? That goes on. Whereas some people can't notice that, and so they think, oh, I need to remember more, so they know they should, and the motivation's there, but they just don't remember because there's too much going on. So it's that whole thing.
Yeah, I think often we think that we need like an hour. We think we need to have this chunk, we need to get changed, we need to like this whole process. But so, for example, today I was boiling the kettle, and I was actually doing a few little exercises from my HIIT workout, and I was like, you know what, you can always use those little moments in time to just put something in there to really look after your body. And there's so many moments where we're so used to being still and waiting and being patient, but can you use that moment? Maybe even at the bus stop, why not doing a few squats?
That's really funny you mentioned kettle. I actually mentioned about this kettle switch in my course to help. It was one of those things to inspire it, and learning how those 4 M's are interrelated as well. So that's quite funny that you actually mentioned that just now.
I love it. Love it.
Great.
I did want to ask you a little bit, like, I think we can talk about this another time, but I've been thinking a lot about like athletes and how they program their mind to kind of practice and to imagine winning, and how this kind of interlinks into this kind of mindful movement, the imagining the outcome, the imagining doing the action, and then that thinking about it also making you take action. And I was also thinking a lot about kind of how we judge things as good and bad and right and wrong, and how kind of quick we can be to decide like we haven't done the routine we wanted, so that's bad. But how can we just become more mindful and just be more loving and kind to ourselves, and kind of make ways of making this work throughout our day?
Absolutely.
Offer on that.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, Rory?
Yeah. it is that thing of you have to sort of really sometimes sit down and make a plan in a way, to get that sort of stimulate it all,
whilst doing
and then
stuff.
but making the plan is one thing, and then there's following it along, which you need. Sometimes you need tools and how to follow it along. And again, the studies behind mindfulness in itself is that it's you can use it as a reflective process, or you can use it as an action meditation process, because it's kind of the act of it's the active ingredient in meditation as well, or yoga. It's the active ingredient, isn't it? The sort of the spice that starts it.
Nice.
And but yeah, it's great. It's been really interesting to the studies on mindfulness say that it helps the brain and the body to interlink, and it creates insight and intuition, because it gives the brain space and the recognition it needs to help relax, and then that helps to backdate or update organize thoughts and memory and develop ideas, because you've got time and you're not in alert mode, you're back in listening mode, which helps the brain to go into the recesses, and actually create safety and relaxation processes along with it. So they're all interlinked. How we are responding, we need to respond, we need to jump into action, but we also need to jump into relaxation as well, regularly throughout the day, to keep it all down. So, but yeah, and that's that vagus nerve. We'll talk about that another time, but that's where mindfulness stimulates the vagus nerve. So we talk about stimulation, but it's actually stimulation of processes that are there to help relax as well.
And absolutely, like the more that we are, not in this stress mode where we can't make good decisions, and maybe we prioritize kind of other people and other things rather than actually listening to what does our body need, the more we can come back home to us and listen to what is it that we need and our intuition, and we're going to make these good choices for ourselves and for other people. So I know you had a little mindful demonstration that you wanted to share with us.
Yes.
I also wanted to share that if any of you would like to join me, so we have a weekly movement session for 23 minutes, not much time, on a Monday at 11. And then we also have a monthly taster, which is free for you to sign up on the first Wednesday of every month at 3. 15 minutes of moving and just getting those ideas of how can you put that into your routine and make it a habit. So over to you, Rory. Let's do some mindfulness with Rory.
Great. Okay. So wherever you are, let's just suddenly come back to our bodies and notice how we are. So notice our posture. We might be slightly, active, hunching over some screen or looking something. Just take a slow breath in, very light and soft, just to bring in the expanding the chest opening, and just bring the shoulders back slightly, just drop into a more straighter upright spine, but nothing too rigid, and let it just come out again really slowly. The breath, just let it just fall out, but soft and light and longer. And we don't have to stay still. If you're trying this for the first time, just listen to your body, and you can wiggle a bit if you want to, or move or reset. It's not about trying to stay still if you don't like staying still, or you're wired. The whole point is to try to just keep the noticing going on, and thoughts can come in and they can go out again. You can be less reactive to them emotionally if you're aware of the thoughts coming in. The brain's trying to tell you something, but you can let go of it again. Or if something you really need to remember, then write it down, and then it becomes a mindful reflection. So it's anything you need to do, but it's the act of noticing. So let's just go for a moment into the breath again. Just let it fall in. It's soft. The mouth is shut through the nose, so it inspires down into the belly. Let the belly be soft. Let it all just fall in, and then let it out again. You can use even hands to help yourself slow down and sync with your diaphragm movements with your hands, just to help slow it down, and then back in again. Any tensions anywhere, you could just notice how it feels. See if you can breathe it out and let that tension go. If it's something that's really bugging you, maybe focus on a different part of the body to keep that noticing going, and just feel the warmth of the other areas of the body that that's not intention, you know, and let things just relax. A couple more breaths. Feel how your tissues are expanding as you breathe, and then out again. Just let it softly fall out. And if you're struggling again and thoughts are coming in, you don't have to have your eyes open or closed. If one of them is you're struggling with, then do the other. Open your eyes, look at things, notice things. It's about noticing sounds, sensations, and keeping active with your mindfulness. So yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed that.
I always love a meditation. Thank you so much, Darren. I just realised that this is you in demonstrating us a beautiful meditation. Super cool. It was really nice to have you join us today. Thanks for joining. Thanks everyone for listening. We will be back in 2 weeks' time, probably speaking about the breath. There is also a little breath, if you look on my Instagram, there's a little breath exercise for you there at Business Yoga that you can try out this week. And thank you so much, Rory LemonAid, for all your magic and expert intuition and insight.
No worries. If you've been watching this video, I will chuck a link to a free gift as well that is all about inspiring motivation and what to do about getting motivated. And so I'll chuck that in the comments below, and any questions, feedback about to either of us about anything. We love to talk to people about what we do. So yes, and
in the Instagram one for Business Yoga as well. So if you want to get in touch with Rory, I will put all the stuff there in his course. I'm definitely signing up. It looks super exciting and it's launching very soon. Thanks everyone. Please have a beautiful Tuesday and see you in 2 weeks for another tiny talk.
Let's make it better.
There's my kind of heart. Love you. Bye.